So today what we're going to be doing is going over the trades that I made a week ago, and the reason why is because last week I did not make a video. I was super busy with some personal things that were going on in my life, but nonetheless we still managed to take a couple of trades. Some of them were good, others were not, but we're going to go ahead and explain those trades in this video, and in a video coming up in around 1 or 2 days we're going to be explaining the trades that we took this week, which we have done pretty well. We're up 513, but that's going to be a topic for a different video. So let's go ahead and explain the trades. So welcome back to another video. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. So over the last 2 weeks, a lot of things have happened, more good than bad, but we're gonna go ahead and try to explain some of the things that have happened thus far. Probably the first one that I'm going to start off is that yes, we do currently have $9,600. I did end up adding slightly more money because I want to be able to sell more premium, and I had some cash just laying around not generating any income whatsoever, so might as well go ahead put that cash to good use, and so far it has been working out pretty good. But nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and explain the trades that I ended up taking 2 weeks ago because I was a bit busy and haven't made a video in about 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and basically move back 2 weeks ago to the trading week. So here's a picture of how we ended up doing last week. As you guys can see, we were down around $27, which is not a lot, and for the most part of the week, you know, we were doing pretty good. As you guys can see, it was slowly rising, and that's exactly how selling premium should work. You know, you make profits as the days till expiration start counting down. But unfortunately, we ended up taking one bad trade, and that's why, you know, you could see that drop towards the end of the week. But other than that, we still ended up basically recovering almost from that trade, and the reason why is because we ended up cutting losses fairly quickly, and so that allowed me to not lose too much cash value from the account. But nonetheless, we still managed to make all that up and even more in this week, which is going to be the trades that go up on the next video, and I'm quite excited to talk about that video just because, you know, we were able to bounce back and end the week off with around $500 gain, and so now we're currently sitting at close to 9.6 thousand. We did end up, like I said, adding a little bit more money because you know, that money was just kind of sitting around not generating any sort of income, so it's always better to have that money actually working than sitting in a bank account. So let's go ahead and hop into the exact trades that I ended up taking 2 weeks ago. So the first trade we're going to explain, or what I should say, the first couple of trades, because I've been taking multiple different trade strategies on American Airlines. Most of them have been working out. You know, one of them, it was a bad trade, but we did end up cutting losses fairly quickly, so that allowed me to basically take a small loss instead of a bigger one. But the overall price action of American Airlines has been quite volatile, so many different trading opportunities have risen from it, and you're going to see right now when we go ahead and look at our trade history on American Airlines that there's a pretty big list, considering we've taken multiple trades on it within the last couple of weeks. But the first trade that we're going to go ahead and explain took place 2.5 weeks earlier. Actually, we ended up entering a 11.5 strike put on July 24th. We got a total premium of $58 for this one, but we ended up selling it before expiration, which would have been $7.31. We ended up selling, I think it was on a Tuesday after American Airlines started that little big gap up. We ended up selling for what was it? We ended up selling it right here on July 28th, so I think it was Monday. That same 11.5 put, we sold it at, or actually we bought it back, I should say, at 35. So if you do the math on that, that was a $13 gain. The next trade that I also did on American Airlines was the weekly covered calls. We entered the American Airlines 13 strike call expiring on 7/31. Our entry price was at $10, and because we have 200 shares of American Airlines, we got a total premium of $20 for that trade. That trade did end up expiring worthless, I believe. Yes, right here says status complete, number of contracts, and so the price of American Airlines at expiration on 7/31 was 11.2. or 11.12. So we were nowhere near that expiration, so we got to keep the $20 and the 200 shares that we had as collateral. The next trade that we ended up taking was on July 29th. We sold a one put for $15, and we bought it back at $11. So now looking back, because this was 2 weeks ago, I'm not really sure exactly why I sold that early. I'd have to go back and look at the exact price of what American Airlines was during that time, but nonetheless, it was a $4 win, so that's still good. And now we're starting to get to the point where I made a bad trade, I think, because this is the, let's see, we bought this one because this is a, oh wait, no, this was a limit sell also, so we actually sold and got a total credit of $70 on this one. Yeah, we do end up buying it back right here on July 31st, which I think it was on the same day, was it? No, we ended up buying it back one day later because I remember this one, and this was when American Airlines started to drop below $11. I think it got to a low of around 10.70, and so I really didn't want to get assigned another 100 shares of American Airlines at 11.5 if American Airlines was trading under 11. So we ended up buying it back at $73, so we had a $3 loss on this one. Not really too bad. So the next trade that we ended up taking was the one where we ended up losing around $90. And so what ended up happening was after, like I said, American Airlines dropped below on $11, I thought it was a little bit oversold. So I decided to buy some calls. And what we ended up doing was buying a total of 24 11 strike calls. I did not buy them all at once. I started to buy a couple and then averaged down. You can see the first 10 that we bought at $42. The next 10 that we bought was around $40, so our average was at around 41. And we bought 4 more, and I think these were a little bit lower at 0.38. So I think our total average, if I remember correctly, was somewhere around 40. Nonetheless, American Airlines started to trade sideways, and I didn't like that price movement, so we ended up selling at 0.37, which was around $3 below our average price. So we did take a loss on that one. But the crazy thing was that if we would have held on to those, because those expired this week, we would have made a lot of money, because we go back and look at American Airlines currently trading at $13. And so if you remember correctly, we sold them at $37. And right now, if you go ahead and look what they're worth $1.98. So we do the math on that, we would have been up close to $1,400 had we held till expiration. And so this is what I mean, that sometimes, even if a trade is going bad, it's always better to cut losses instead of holding on and potentially trying to make a profit, because there's no guaranteeing that right here American Airlines would have moved up $2. It could have just as easily kept on going down or traded sideways, and that whole $1,000 investment that we had would have gone to zero. This is one of the few times where if we would have held, we would have been a pretty good profit. But I'd rather take a $90 loss than potentially lose the whole $1,000 investment. So a $92 loss in the big scheme of things is not a really big loss, considering that we still managed to basically end the week off relatively flat at around $23 loss. But now back to the other trades that I ended up taking. I believe I took one more trade on American Airlines, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think that was it. Yeah, that looks like that was actually it for that week. These trades that happened were trades that went on this week, so that's for the next video. So the last final trade that I'm going to explain, which was the only trade that I took last week, other than the couple of trades that on American Airlines. Yeah, so last week, we just traded the crap out of American Airlines. But we did take one more trade, and that was on TNA. TNA is a 3 times leveraged ETF that tracks the small caps. So what that basically means, companies that are, I think it's less than 1 billion in market cap. I could be wrong, but there's little subcategories like micro, and sub-micro or something like that. I don't know them off the top of my head, but there's different categories depending on what the market cap is. So basically what the TNA does is tracks those small cap companies. And so because it offers a 3 times leverage, that means that the premiums on them are going to be relatively a lot higher than normal ETFs or other stocks. So what we ended up doing was buying, or I should say selling a TNA put for $31, I believe, if that's correct. I'm trying to see. Yeah, so I think we sold this midweek, yeah, because now that I'm looking at it, we didn't even get that much premium from it, but I'm pretty sure that was because we sold midweek and we sold considerably below the trading price, just because of 3 times leverage, and I wanted to have a little bit more of a safety net in case the trade did go against us. So we sold a 27 strike put on TNA, received a total premium of $31, and we bought it back for $5. So our total profit on that one was around let's see, around $26. We did end up selling it early because I saw an opportunity to basically roll over, in a sense, because for the following week we sold the 27.5 and we had a pretty big decent premium collected on that one, $122. But that's going to be a trade explanation for the following video, so I'm not going to get too much into it. But other than that, really the where all the other gains came from was from American Airlines slowly climbing up, and so this is also going to be a topic for our next video. But as you guys can see, for the last couple of weeks, American Airlines has been slowly trending up because some new news about the airlines being helped out, and I'll make a separate video on that. But other than that, things have been going pretty good. Like I said, we're currently at 9.6 thousand. Everything has gone good. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.